Hello everybody, my name is Pravus and welcome back to City Skylines in New Gruntings, which has been growing fairly nicely, honestly. It may not look like we're doing a lot of huge stuff, but we got whole new districts propping up. Just in the last video alone, they're almost fully populated already. Looking pretty good, looking pretty good. Now, we did buy a very crucial tile down over here so we can start manipulating the highways and changing traffic patterns. Because up to this point, the city is, it's sort of struggling along in terms of traffic. We're just now reaching the point of what I consider big city problems. Lots of noise, lots of pollution, lots of traffic. And a lot of that comes down to the fact that we only have this one major exit going to like 80+% of the city. And if you want to get to, actually, no, the whole city. There's a little bit of an exit right here at the fill pits, but if you want to get to the Steinworks or anywhere else, you have to go through this exit. I mean, technically here, but who's using this? So basically, all of our traffic gets congested around this bottleneck. If we were to extend out the highway around the edge of the map like so, we would be able to do significantly more, and that is what we are going to try to do right now. I don't like this mist, by the way. It kind of fogs up the entire map, and you can't appreciate its splendor and glory, but all right. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of a rather significant chunk of the highway. Sorry, all you people who are stuck out here. Hope your lives weren't important or anything. Place down those, and then we're going to go for an intersection, and there's a lot that are pre-built into the map, such as the three-way intersection, some roundabouts, and blah, 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 blah. All very nice, but I'm going to make use of a mod for Timbo's Y-Stack Interchange, and we're going to be placing this sucker up here. Now, trying to get the angles of this right might be a little on the tricksy side. If I could just get you guys to connect up right here, that'd be convenient. But we can't. So we're going to try placing it instead right about here, I think. Sure, that doesn't seem too bad. And as long as we can hook up the highways without too much trouble, I think we'll be fine. What kind of highway is this? Looks like a three-laner, okay. Three-way highway. These are all highways, right? Yeah, so there's a lot of different highway types. We don't need a four-way, though. We just need a simple three-lane highway. So let's go ahead and do another spline coming off of you, and then just sort of join you guys up. Yeah, wait a minute. Hang on. Better do a curve at this point. It's far more precise. There we go. That's what I want to see. Okay, we'll do that. And then this one's going to be awkward. You're just going to have to live with it. There's a very sudden and sharp turn as you're driving here. A little angle. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Okay, so that provides the major intersection we need to get everything here connected. Now we can just drag this sucker all the way along the edge of the map. And this is going to be expensive, but it's fine, because we have plenty of money. I think today is going to mark a rather massive expansion for the city. Now that we have this highway over here, I want to draw people over to it, and I think this is a prime area to do so. I'm not really looking to expand too much more in the industry and such over here with the Steinworks. This seems to be just fine as it is with a bit more room to grow. But I do think we have a lot of potential for a nice, really big residential and commercial and office area, and also potentially my very own proper university. Not just a technical school, not just a liberal arts school, but a real, full-fledged university with all the varsity sports you can eat. So I think we're just going to go ahead and set up another major intersection right down over here and lay out the foundations for a new massive addition. If we are going to commit to building a university, I think it'd be kind of cool to build it around this giant section of rocks or something, you know? Could be kind of slick. Who's ever been to a university surrounding giant boulders? I don't think you have. I know that I haven't. So let's try placing some big honkin' one-way roads going down this way. And the reason I'm doing this is I want to make sure that all traffic that comes in and out of the university is going to just quickly flow right the heck back out. That's all that I'm here for. I just wanted to get the heck out of here. Reason why is I'm kind of anticipating that we're going to have issues with school sports if we don't. Because obviously a really, really good varsity team can draw in a lot of traffic. So gonna try to avoid some of that. Okay, so this all seems pretty good, and then let's also get another one-way road, I think, just kind of following a little bit along this way, so that people can stay in the loop of our university area without interfering with the main traffic. So one big continuous circle going down this way. Okay, now let's set up a new district, and it's gonna be, of course, a campus district. Here it is, just like this. Now, let's set up a nice little administrative area. I'm thinking something right along here would probably be fine. Sure, something like that. Okay, then we are going to place down a new university headquarters. Administrative building. Wow, that was actually about perfectly sized. Didn't intend that, but I'm not unhappy about it either. That's pretty perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and set you up right around here. There we go. So now we have a big honkin' new university administrative building. Look how imposing that is. Is perfect. Okay. So what do we unlock then in the university? We have dormitories, of course, study halls, of course, groundskeeping, of course, and a futsal club. What the crud is that? A futsal club is open for all fans, players, and coaches to share their love for this sport in friendly practice matches and futsal game What the heck is futsal? Okay, so by my experience, this should be enough buildings to kind of get us going as far as campus attractiveness. No, I am wrong. It is not quite enough. Oh, right, because I haven't placed down the futsal enthusiast club, whatever the frickin' heck this thing is. We'll place it right along, I don't know, right along the path, I think. How about right here? Perfect. Okay, is that enough attractiveness? Yes. Okay, so we have our full attractiveness value. We also should go ahead and fund some academic works, dissertation, discovery, and scientific study. I'll go for a scientific study, because why the heck not? And then, if we want to place down some varsity sports, I think we can do so now. I've been kind of holding off on this up to this point, but I think now we should. So if we want to place down sports, we have access to the aquatic center, the basketball arena, the track and field stadium, the baseball park, and the American football stadium. Nothing draws in a crowd quite like American football, the bestest game ever did make. I say that as somebody who doesn't really watch football personally, so it's a bit of a shock on my end. This might be a bit much in terms of noise, though. Maybe we start with something a little bit smaller for now. How about like an aquatic center? Holy crap, these are huge. These are way bigger than I expected them to be. Okay, well, now we can still make this work. It's just massive. Okay. So there we go. Now, as far as the University of New Gruntings, do we want to keep it at that name? How about just simple New Gruntings University? This is where I would be tempted to go ahead and use a patron's name, but I think it would be nice to just go ahead and name this properly after the city. We have New Gruntings University, NGU. Go team! Now, of course, we need to add in some more public transportation so that people can easily get to the university. So maybe we can set something up like right around here. That's not a bad spot, I think. So yeah, okay. Quick little place right down there. And I also laid out the road work for another huge quarter of the city. Well, section of the city. So we'll go ahead and add in some more stops along this way. Do we want to add in something to Uthrid Corner, or is that going to be kind of a little too intrusive, do you think? I don't know. I feel like if I lived in a simple neighborhood, having metro access would be awesome, but I wouldn't appreciate the traffic. That said, I mean, yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add that sucker in there, and then we are going to have to create a whole new section of track like this. And then, of course, create a new line. We'll go along this way, and I guess head down toward the city proper, down this way and over here. And we can loop around to the main stop, but I don't think that makes a lot of sense. So we'll do this. And then I think we are going to head all the way back. Okay, there we go. Another major metro line established. Could add in another blimp, I suppose, though I think that might be a little on the annoying side. Do I really want a blimp that badly? I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think the blimps are getting a whole lot of traffic. No, they're getting practically nothing. The metro is, by a long shot, a more affordable and advantageous option. I say more affordable in terms of how much we're spending per person going out, I think. Anyways, all right, so if this is going to be our new university area, I want to fill this in with some more residential and commercial, albeit keeping it slightly apart from the rest of Uthrid's Corner, because we don't want them getting crowded out. I like having a nice little residential area over here. So let's go ahead and set down some more, at least to start off, some more commercial along some of these major roads. Something like this should be fine. Okay. And then a bunch of residential. And then I deliberately left myself a fair bit of extra space over here. Is there some sort of a monument I would like to add in? Potentially. Let me see what our options are. Suppose we could add in this observation tower thing. That would look kind of cool. Not at all where I'm talking about, like not the new section, but just something like this to function like kind of a nice big entertainment center for the Marco. And also, the observation tower increases the effect radius of all parks and plazas by 10%, so we absolutely should be getting one of those down. An aquarium. There's a thought. If I were to place down an aquarium right over here, that would be kind of a cool little addition, I think. Sure, let's do that. Okay, this area seems to be growing up pretty nicely. Do we want to turn this into another district? I suppose we probably could / should. So I'm going to go ahead and add in another chunk of district right along here. And this one I'm just going to leave as is, Pearl Park, because I'm starting to run a little bit lower on some names, and I kind of like the name of Pearl Park. This one works for me. That said, we are going to be creating this as, again, a self-sustaining area just for a bit of funsies, some IT clusters, and also probably want to do the local organic stuff. Just because we're keeping with the trend here of Uthrid Park, and also I think a bunch of hippy-dippy college students would like that kind of stuff, right? Pretty sure. You know what? I'm sorry. We're going to name this after all. That's just me being lazy on that part. What should we call it? Well, we have a name that popped up here. Is by Another Paradox is the name. So because it just sort of fits, I'm going to call this one Paradox Plaza. Not after the Reddit, right, for Paradox Development Studios or Paradox Interactive, but as my patron, Paradox Plaza. New Gruntings University seems to actually filled up in students pretty quickly. I think a big part of that is we're having more and more people who actually do qualify to become highly educated. So the more people we have that actually go through the proper process of elementary, then high school, and then some sort of community college all the way up to highly educated, well, turns out that we're getting more and more people who are interested in college. So NGU seems to be growing pretty rapidly, and as long as we can get through a couple academic years and get some more academic works, I think this place is going to be recognized in no time flat. Academic Year Report! New Gruntings University does have another academic works, and 377 new students have enrolled. Okay, and we have unlocked, it appears, no, I don't think we've actually unlocked any of this yet. Darn it! Alright, still got a little ways to go, but that's to be expected. We didn't have any academic works. Lost some students at the Hall of Laser Marks, but I'm pretty sure that's because they moved over to NGU. Similar situation here with Lucidus Technical School. We did get a few new grants. Also got Humanity Against Chirps. 2 toga parties. Oh my yow. Yeah, not growing a whole lot over here, unfortunately. Still need a lot more students to go around, which means we just need more educated population. We can get there. Oh, here's something I didn't realize we had access to. We got a School of Law. Students get internships in the office of the city's prosecutor, providing legal counsel to citizens. Crime rate is reduced throughout the city. Oh, I like the idea of placing this somewhere. Okay. NGU, sounds like you're getting a whole new department, buddy. Beautiful. Simply beautiful. Okay, if we can get some pathing down and such, we're going to have a whole bunch of students pursuing the, extremely noble profession of law. Yay! Lawyers. They're great. Up, and there we go. The fill pits have reached level 3, which means now we have access to the rotary kiln plant, the electronics factory, the seabed mining vessel, and a medium ore mine. Well, some of these sound rather exciting. Hang on. Unique factories. Let's take a look at some of this. So here's the industrial steel plant, which takes metals and turns it directly into luxury goods. Industrial-grade steel products. Well, that sounds extremely good. It is, unfortunately, a rather massive factory, kind of like the lemonade factory. Then we have the clothing factory, which I didn't even realize was an option. Hang on, that's also not actually as big. This one is more doable. It might involve tearing down some landmark rocks and stuff, but we could actually place down a clothing factory. Problem is, I think traffic is going to be a bit of a problem. You can see it's already a little on the high side, especially down in this area. So do I really want to make this worse? I don't know, probably not. And then what about fishing? What is this whole thing about mining in the ocean? Maybe it's actually under ore. Hang on, extraction buildings? It is. Seabed mining vessel. So if we had access to a proper ocean, I think this would be better. Unless I'm allowed to set something up over here. Yeah, you can set things up over this direction. It's not currently in an industrial area, and I can only imagine it's going to create a bit of a mess, but that is the thing we could do if we wanted to. I'm not sure how much I really want to invest into a lot of this, but we could. A warehouse for storing various different goods. This is something we actually probably should be making use of for a lot of our different goods, to be honest. If we can fit something in here, we should do so. Maybe if I delete a couple of roads over here or something, we can set something up that will work for a really big factory. Right, so if I just do like a little angle, kind of like... it's not going to work. Hang on. And then we do a straight road out like this. And then, can I set up a unique factory? What would I want? Clothing? I don't even know what those little white dots are. I'll bet you they're like plastic or something. There's a lot of unique factories. I didn't even realize how many there were. Let's see. Lemonade, electronics. No, I think that's the same problem. But if we do an industrial steel plant, this is... Oh, God, it's still way too big. Way too big. Oh, my God. All right, so none of these are going to be options. Man, you have to be really willing to invest heavily in industry to make this work. But we could place down a clothing factory. So I will hold on to this as a potential option for the future. But if that's going to work, I think we need to get our petroleum fields set up. So let's go back to the Telsier oil fields. We have produced more than enough. What we don't have is enough workers. Okay, we're actually producing more oil than I'm able to actually process. So we need more. Not enough raw materials. Well, we should be producing plenty. What's the problem here exactly? I don't know. To be safe, let's set up another one of those and another one over here. They're relatively cheap anyway. And then we will get ourselves some more pyrolysis plants, because I think that's the only kind of refining building we have. And once you guys have finished delivering some oil, we should be able to process quite a bit more. There we go, just like that. That only took like a few seconds. Telsier Oil Fields has reached level 2, which gives me access to the petrochemical plant, the small oil drilling rig, household plastic factory, oil industry workers barracks, and crude oil storage cavern. Okay, so let's take a look at some of those. So the petrochemical plant does actually turn oil directly into, I assume, plastics. So if I set up one over here, for example, that should start producing some much-needed plastic. We could go for more, actually. And I will, question mark? Yes, we will place down some more, but we also want more extraction. So maybe some over here, and over here, and up over here. That should be tons more oil coming in, right? I would certainly hope it is. We could even go for some more over here. Do we want to? Sure, why not? Let's extract the crap out of all this oil. I think in my, like, game options, I have it set up so that it doesn't ever, like, deplete, which you really should do. You should have the oil resources deplete over time, like the ore. But I didn't feel like dealing with it, so we didn't. But I think this means we should be able to produce an absolute ton of oil and keep dropping it off to the petrochemical plant. Now, for this to be more effective, it would probably be nice to place down some of those barracks, or even an oil storage cavern, I don't know. Let's see, a barracks. They're larger than you would think. We can place one over there, and maybe another one up over here. Sure, a bunch of barracks. Yeah! We actually haven't looked at Jeb's lumberyard in a while. What's going on here? Again, not enough workers, so we need more people to be working here. We're producing planed timber at the moment, apparently. Not enough processing of that yet either, though. So let's go to the forestry industry then. And first off, let's see. Storage. Probably could use some more real storage, so let's do this. And then probably some more processing. How best to do this? Let's see. Place one over here, then maybe some more extraction off in this direction. Should be enough. I'm trying to make sure we have plenty of extraction to go around, but really what we need is just a lot of employment. And that's what I'm doing at the moment, so this should result in a fair bit more. It looks like we already had a couple of different small log yards, so having two of these might be overkill, I'm not sure. Still, eventually I think it's going to end up being worthwhile, and if we can level up Jeb's lumberyard, I will happily start producing some paper. I'm going to add in another major section, I think, to the city. We'll go ahead and set up another major district right along here. This time it could be kind of fun to go ahead and set this up deliberately to be more touristy focused. Just because right now we don't really have one of those in the city itself. We have leisure, but not proper tourism. So let's see. If we were to set up the commercial specialization for tourism like so, And I don't care about IT clusters this time, but more self-sufficient buildings because they look cool or something. I don't know. So that should work pretty nicely. Elizabeth Hills? That's a very generic name. I don't like it. Let's name it something different. Hang on. We'll call this one Bishal Bay, after Paul Bishal. It's not actually a bay, but that's fine. A lot of things are misnamed in the real world, right? It's probably okay. Okay, so this, I think, should be mostly efficient in terms of traffic. A couple things I'm forgetting probably over here would be to add in a quick little intersection right along here. Three-way intersections are almost always going to end up being more efficient than outright four-way intersections, believe it or not. Just because most people can actually, like, just turn right and stuff, and you don't actually... There's a whole chunk of traffic that just keep making right turns, and they're good to go. So I don't know. It's supposed to be a little bit better. It's supposed to be a little bit more efficient. Let's see. If I do something like... something like this over here. There we go. Okay, looks perfect. All right. So this would be pretty nice. We need to get some more services and such. Can I also find a really good, unique building to toss into here? Sure. How about a cathedral of plenitude? And we'll place it right along here. Yes, nicely out of the way of everybody else. Big honking cathedral. I think that looks great. It's actually one of the more interesting buildings in the game. And also maybe a museum of ancient arts over here. I think that makes a lot of sense, of course. It's really close to the university, so I think that's good. And by the way, whenever I have these large stretches of road with nothing kind of connecting them in between, I always like to add in at least one walking path, just so people technically can get around if they need to, even without a car. Okay, this seems pretty nice. Let's also make sure we have some of our basics, like the clinic set up over here, probably nearby the cathedral, just so it looks good. We also need to get ourselves a new fire station, which I can deploy over... I don't want to place it next to the cathedral, necessarily. How about right over here, and then another police station pretty close by right over here. And we also need to get ourselves another crematorium. This one actually could go next to the cathedral, and it might even be slightly appropriate. Sure, we'll do this one right here. Okay, perfect. And something else I would like to do... is this a good idea or a stupid idea? Let me think about this for a quick second. It might be nice to, instead of filling out Bishal Bay in a huge way, instead get rid of some of these roads right here and create our own city park district. Yeah, what if we set up a new type of park? And they want to call it the Autumn Meadows by default, but I'm going to instead call it the... Fields of Just, after Neuron Just. Also, it sounds kind of like Justice, which kind of fits, I think, well with the cathedral, because then I think like the Palace of Justice and Notre Dame and stuff. I don't know. Something kind of like that. Don't judge me too much. Now, let's see. What's involved in setting up a nice little state park? City park. There we go. Something like this. So we can set up a main gate, probably right along here or something. There we go. We unlock the side gate, a plaza, photo booth, restrooms, cafes, and so on. Beautiful. And just like some of the major parks you see in a lot of other big cities like Paris or New York, etc., we could set up some nice little side gates. Though it looks like you're only allowed to have a couple... Oh, I'm out of money! Oh, wow, I haven't had this problem in... For freaking ever! Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and set up one, like, right along here. Can I fit this? Doesn't really matter, I suppose. I'm not going to use the zoning, so sure, a little side accent right there. And another one right over here. Okay, plenty of little access points. We could place down some fencing. I think fencing might be a little crude, but okay, let's do it. Okay, so we're going to have a nice little bunch of pathways, kind of like this, all spidering their way around, and then we place down a plaza. Plaza goes right here in the middle. Looks extra... Oh, it destroyed a road. Well, that's... No, none of those are things that I wanted to happen just now. Hang on. There we go. Plaza goes right there in the middle, and then we also want to have a nice little cafe, probably. This one only sort of fits nicely along the road, but I could do something kind of like this close to the plaza. And then we want to have some restrooms that are probably nearby as well. Okay, and we also have access to a park info booth, which I'll probably keep relatively close to the entrance right over there. Okay, nice. So there's a lot more I need to unlock before I can really take full advantage of this. But I mean, it looks pretty cool, right? I'm not crazy. I think it looks great. So the reason I like the idea of placing a city park kind of right in here is it just sort of highlights another area where I'm not going to be developing, you know? Something right in the middle of the city that's still green and beautiful, and of course it's right next to a cathedral, so it's extra picturesque. Now let's go ahead and do some zoning. Okay, Bichelle Bay is open for business, and it looks like we got a few takers early on. I love to see it. Okay. And we're making some of our money back too, which is also quite good. Population has grown up to 38,000. What do we need for the next tier? 46,000. Ugh, yeah, oh, wow, we got a long ways to go, unfortunately, but we're making some pretty solid progress toward that end. Hey, Jeb's Lumberyard is finally leveled up. Okay, now we have the biomass pellet plant, the furniture factory, the sawdust storage, forestry, workers' barracks, and a sapling field. Right, okay. Well, first, let's make sure that we don't lose power over here by accident. There we go. Okay, so that's all set up. Let's get back over to Jeb's Lumberyard. And if I want to go for some lumber, so we have the sawmill, which we already have accessible. Now we need to go for the biomass pellet plants, I think. And oh lord, they're big. They are much bigger than might have expected. Okay, well, we need at least one of these. So we can go ahead and start turning some of the excess forestry into some of those pellets, of which we don't actually seem to have much in the way of excess forestry, so maybe we actually want some more extraction buildings. Could get a small sapling field. Don't really know how this differs from the other types of extraction, but sure, we'll place down a couple of those. There we go. So if we can just produce a fair bit more, we'll go ahead and start producing paper. And actually, the other thing I really need is another metro station. I think this time we're going to go ahead and extend out the JP line. Or do we want to do that? I mean, I guess there's a lot of different ways we could do it. But yeah, let's go ahead and extend out the JP line going kind of like this. There we go. And can I... Where'd the line go? There it is. Can I take you, drag here, and I want to add a new stop right there on both sides. There we go. Okay, now the red line has been extended and picks up Bichelle Bay. Or Bichelle Bay, sorry. And you know, I think this is actually a pretty good place for us to stop today. Made a lot more progress, I think, with the city, though we are starting to run out of some basics like water and stuff. We'll have to come back and revisit that in the future. But for now, I'm pretty happy with how this has gone. Pretty darn happy with this. So, I look forward to coming back next week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as well. If so, then of course I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.